When I was 11 years old, I had designed a school on the moon. And the teacher said, "You've got to be an architect." Of course, I didn't pay any attention. I didn't even know what that was. How does the water system in a tree work? It gets water at the roots, but then how does the water get up to the top? You know, if you have a redwood tree that's 300 feet high, how does it work? When I design buildings, it's a result of some of the answers to these questions. Nature is all about that fantastic design ability that's not apparent when you just look at something. How does the inside reflect the outside of the thing? What would be the safest form for creating a house in an earthquake-prone and fire-prone area? I decided to look into nature to see what nature has created that resists lots of stress and strain. And it turns out that there is a little creature called the tardigrade that has been known to resist all kinds of disastrous environmental situations. In plan, it's an ellipse, an oval shape. And in section, it's a parabolic arch on top and a catenary arch on the bottom. So I thought, of course, that must be part of the secret of its durability. And so the result is this house, which is a house for my parents. In an earthquake situation, the elliptical shape allows any stress coming at it from all angles to be thrown away from the shape of the foundation. My parents are not rebellious in any way, so that was hard for them to understand. Why doesn't he conform? For me, it was always, let's see what we can do. Let's try the impossible. School was a war ground for me. They just felt nature and architecture had nothing to do with each other. And the architect was certainly not an artist. My work thrived in the environment because it rebelled against that. I kind of found joy in rebelling against it because it was my only way of really hitting back. Spheres became a possibility for designing an entire school. The spheres could be built very quickly, and they were also extremely strong. The area is in a high fire hazard zone. The spheres are very aerodynamic, which means that any breeze that might carry fire would go around and away from the sphere. The spiderweb silk is stronger pound for pound than structural steel. We found that steel spun into a cable is the closest thing to the spiderweb that we have. When you try to be rigid in an earthquake, you're asking for failure. Whereas if you flex, if you're creating a suspension cable supported structure, the cable has flexibility and therefore won't break. We're slowly strangling the earth and consuming the natural resources at a really, really incredibly devastating rate. If we don't start to create alternatives to this, we will surely destroy ourselves in the process. The buildings, their power system is self-generated. Raw sewage is cleaned by plants and by a small solar pump. So all of its internal systems are taken care of and rejuvenating. It has no effect on the external environment in any kind of negative way.
What do you think?
These we can. You think it's okay to just keep these at the same size?
Yes.
This batch. You think it's
Right.
and plus then it's easier for large ships to come in on this side
Mhm.
and then leave, because then they can leave right into the Atlantic.
Oh, go right into the Atlantic. Yeah, that makes sense. Wow.
So I asked myself, okay, if nature had to solve this problem, how would it solve it? And came up with this floating and submerged tubular structure that was built in sections like a spinal column, and then locked into place by a series of stainless steel cables. Yeah, I mean this freeway is the building. So below it, it's an actual experience of gardens and waterfalls and bicycles and walking people. I see the bridge as a symbol of unifying the world at large. How do you create this link in life between people, between humanity at large, and the way nature thinks and acts? Where are the buildings today that really speak to us, that make us want to touch them, want to be around them, that really have a human message about being yourself? Somehow we've got to return to the basic home that we have started with, and that is the universe of nature.